this is Esty. She is from Life Pix, Pix. Oh gosh, I forgot that. I got so caught up on the Pix on how to spell Pix that I forgot the rest of it. Life Pix University. And she has agreed to an intuitive reading. So I'm just going to go for that. I am going to make the caveat that she's in a space that is safe, but isn't safe at this moment. So some of that might come up in the reading, right? But that, right? Like we'll just see what that looks like. So
Okay.
Esty, when I drop into your energy, I am sensing a sense of peace. That you are like grounded in you, even though there is some chaos going on around you. That you are like, I am where I'm supposed to be. I know who I am. I know why I'm here. I know that I'm here for a reason. I'm here to be in this place at this time for this purpose, whatever it is, even though I don't know what that is right now. So I just feel like you're super grounded. And I feel like there is a part of you that is prairie dogging right now. That's like, what's going on? And I want to learn everything I can about the scenario. And I want to learn about the history. And I want to learn about the people. And I want to learn how I can help. And I want to learn how, like, clearly there's a moment here. I just got chills. There's a moment here that I am here, like in the book of Esther. Right. I am going to disclose that, like, Esty is currently in Israel. And there's currently, like, major things going on in the South, right? In this time period that we're in. Um, I feel like in the book of Esther, have you ever read the Bible? Do you know Esther, the book of Esther?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my real name, Esther, by the way.
Really? Because you always said it. You said when we've met before, you said it was Esty, Estee. No idea.
Yeah, well, Esther is like nobody ever calls me Esther, but like that was my legal name, like the name I was given
Yeah.
when I was birth.
So Esty, just so you know, her initial, like her first name is Esty, and she goes by the letter S and the letter T, um, as her name. Like she's a capital S,
Yeah.
capital T as her first name. So I did not know your name is Esther, but in at the book of Esther, she says, I am put in this place at this time for such a time as this. And in that time, there was a genocide going on in Esther's time. And so I'm getting a little teary about this. So I don't know how this plays out. I'm trying to see if I can see how it plays out. I do see you thinking, I don't know if you've committed to, but you are thinking about how to help, and you're thinking about how to bring some relief aid in, and you're thinking about how you can be of service while you're still trying to do work, right? Because you're working at nights, I think, and sleeping during days, or you've got it backwards, or I feel like your time zone and their time zone aren't like quite lined up, but you're wondering how you can be of service. Um, I don't know why. I just got the huge image of a cat. Mm. And it might be, I think it's twofold actually. I think one is you may actually find animals and you might like start collecting them. Like it wouldn't be surprising to me if like you start like working, like finding like unhomed animals and start doing something with them. But I think there's also something in the introvert personality, the stepping, I mean, you are not an introvert, you are an extrovert, but the introvert personality is somebody who steps back, who watches, who perceives, who notices, and then steps in. And I feel like that's the way you're looking at how do I help, like with the prairie dog, and you're like, what's going on? I want to learn everything I can. I think in that like stepping back and looking around, you're assessing where you would be of most benefit. I don't, yeah, I think at this time, if you were thinking about a relationship, I feel like it's on hold at the moment. I feel like that's not even something that's on your brain, right? Like the person if there was a person on your brain before, I don't think they still are. I think they've sort of fallen off your brain. That maybe not out of your heart, but out of your brain, where you're just like, I still really care about the person, but they're no longer a focus the way that they were before. And I think being where you are right now has made you, here, this is gonna make me cry, has made you ask some really deep questions and some really deep, like, where do I want to be and who do I want to be? And am I lining up with my ideals? And where am I not lining up with my ideals? And do I need to tweak anything? Because this life is freaking short. And where do I need to be living more? And how do I live and what makes me come alive? And am I doing what makes me come alive? Yes, I am. But is there more? Like, it's like a roller coaster where you're like, yeah, I'm on a really good roller coaster. It's got 2 loops and it's really a lot of fun. But you're like, yeah, but I want a corkscrew and I want another drop. And can we put a water feature in this roller coaster? Right? Can we add more to this? Like there has to be more that we could do. Yeah, I'm on a roller coaster. Yeah, I've got it going the way I like it. Yeah, it's really been a lot of fun, but I am hungry for more. That's what I'm picking up. I think that's everything. Do you have any questions?
I have so many. I'm like, do you want like comments on what I said, or do you want me to just ask on what you said, or do you want just questions?
You could do whatever you want, Esty. It's all up to you.
Well, I found the cat really interesting. There's a bunch of like stranded cats in Israel, like just because I don't know, like the population is like full of them. And I love animals, but sorry, I don't like cats for some reason. It's like the one animal. So I found that interesting. But then like when you were saying about like the questioning and like figuring out, like I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So there's some war just does some things to you that you, right, like from one second to the next, you just like wake up one morning to missiles being shot at you, like not realizing like what, like life just could change like any second. So most definitely like those questions, and of like your point about like knowing that like I'm right here doing the right thing, or like here to support is very much true. I'm meant to like be here for 6 weeks, and I'm meant to like, that's almost up, but I have decided that whether or not flights are canceled, which will depend on different things, I'm staying as support for the people that are here. And like I know that right now that is the right thing. So that part is true. But I'm super curious what you see, like what you're getting from like my relationship with other people during this time.
When I was talking about the relationship, I meant like an intimate partner relationship.
Yeah, that I understood. Right. So that's why I was like, okay, like, yeah, that makes sense. Like right now.
Okay, just clarify that. But for relationship for the
But I meant, family, friends, like just
they're
other
freaking
people.
out. Some of them are totally freaking out, right? Like I think I'm getting the number 5, at least 5 people who have told you to get on a flight and get the hell out of there. At least 5.
Probably more.
Get on a flight and get the hell out of there. Right? I think one of the loudest people is your mom. I think your mom has really been like, this is not okay. And your dad's like worried and concerned, but I feel like he's more stoic. And I think he's like looking at your mom going, she's doing what she needs to do. But yeah, I'm scared too. Right? Like, I feel like, but relationships with people in Israel.
It doesn't have to be people in Israel, like while I am here, but like to
here.
other people, like friends or family, whether they're in Israel or not.
Just curious. I feel like you've been working hard to connect with people, but I feel like, you know how like, and if I'm like not on the street you want me to get on, help me get on the street you want me to be on. But the street that I'm now going.
No, I've asked more like an open-ended question because like I want to see like what else you're like, what else you're finding.
I feel like when people are I'm going to use this example just because it's sort of a universal. Like when you're on a college campus and you're with your friends all the time and you see them all the time and you see them daily and you see them in the in and out, and then somebody goes away for a semester abroad and they're not there, all these other things happen when they're not there. And so like these things are still happening here at home. Like everything is still normal. And the person who's abroad knows that they're missing out on all the things that are going on at home. But at the same time, they're having their own experiences. And when they come back, they're not the same person they were before. Right. So the person who's abroad while they're on college campus, they come back and they've altered slightly. Their worldview is bigger. Their mind shift has happened, right? And so I am wondering if this experience is going to put you in no man's land for a little while, where you are going to feel like you aren't really Israeli, right? You're not really a member of them. They aren't necessarily embracing you. They are, but they're not, right? They're not like unkind, but they also have like their own stuff going on. And then you are having these experiences which are changing you so that when you come home, whenever you choose to do that, if you ever choose to do that, right? And honestly, I can't tell right now energetically which you're going to decide. Like I can't tell you because I feel like I was surprised to hear that your plane is supposed to take off soon, because in my like reading of this energy, I didn't get that you're leaving anytime soon.
Right, because I've decided that I'm staying.
Yeah, you've
even
decided
if the plane goes.
even the plane goes. But I'm also saying I don't know if you'll ever go. I don't know that you'll ever
like my entire life is staying here. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I'm saying for the near, like a couple years, like a near future-ish, I'm seeing you like not coming. If you come back, you're coming back to visit. You're not coming back to stay.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm taking it. I don't know what will be.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I don't even know if you'll stay in Israel. Like I see like the map open in front of me. Like you may decide to go someplace else. Right? Like this is crazy to me. Like my left brain really wants to argue with this next statement, and my right brain is saying, no, you have to say it. So I'm just going to say it, but I'm wondering if from here you decide to go someplace like the Ukraine.
Ukraine. Wow. Anything's possible.
Exactly.
I mean,
but it's that kind of scenario where
yeah.
you're like, now that I know what this is, how do I do war relief? And how do I get into an organization that does war relief? Right? Even on a volunteer basis. So I think you're blossoming into this like beautiful, amazing flower with all of these experiences, and other people around you who aren't having those experiences only see fear. And you're like, no, there's more than just fear here. Yeah, I mean, there's like, bombing, and I might not be safe, and I might have to like scamper away because there's a missile drill, right? And yeah, I should be scared. But as I said, when I opened, you're grounded and you know who you are and you know why you're there and you know what you're doing, and you're there for such a time as this. And so, do other people understand that? No. And that's partly because, Esty, you're wired slightly differently, right? Like, it doesn't mean you're wired wrong.
What do you see in that? I'm curious.
Like, what do you mean?
What's making you say that?
That you're
like
wired,
that you're wired differently.
You're wired differently.
Yeah, what's making you say that?
Like, I just feel like what I saw was like the back of how like a back of a toaster or back of a microwave where you open it up and all the wires go in certain ways, or the computer board, everything goes in a certain way. You can wire it a specific way that is like designed by the people, and then somebody will go and make a computer or make a microwave or make something, and they'll not do it like the way that the company says you're supposed to do it, right? But it still works. It's completely safe. It's totally fine. It's just not the way that particular company makes it. And so I feel like your brain, your way of being is just, you're brave, you're courageous, you work in such a way that you help other people be brave and courageous. Your whole work is helping people be the most true version of themselves. And then you're living being the most true version of yourself. And it means that, you want more in your roller coaster. And so people who look at you from the outside in, who think this is not safe, this is not okay, this is not blah, 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 right? And they want to like keep you safe because they love you and they want to protect you. And they're like, I don't know why she's just not coming home, because they're operating out of fear. They're not operating out of your grounding.
Okay. Now, what could you like get, like, not related to the current situation, like my past or my future, or just anything else that you're reading about my energy?
I think you've been certain, like, if I'm allowed to say it, I think you've been really hurt in the past.
1 second. Stop for a second. You could say whatever you want. Like I told you before we started, I'm open
I
book.
know. But there are some people who are like, no, don't say that. You can't expose that. Like, yeah, I feel like there have been some big betrayals in your past. And so trust
Okay.
isn't always something that's really super easy for you. And so,
Any specific type of trust?
oh, now you're pressing.
You don't have to answer what you don't want.
No, I just want to, I'm like really loving this exercise. It's great. Any kind of trust, particular kind of trust. Well, I am getting like the being let down by parents. Like they'll say something and then they wouldn't do it. And then you are like, no, I don't know. But I'm also getting like, there was, I don't know if it's a friend or a significant other who like, I'm getting the word cheated, but I'm also getting like betrayal. Like, I don't know if they spilled your secrets or if they like, yeah, that's it. I don't know if I can get much more, but you've been like super burned in the past, which makes you a little hesitant to like let people in. I mean, you're super open and like, this is who I am. I'm willing to share. I'll tell you whatever. Right. But there's also a part of you that's like, am I going to like give you my most like underbelly, most vulnerable bits? I think when some people, as me, who's an extrovert, I will be like, I'll tell you anything. But then like sometimes I'm like, no, wait, that's not that that's closed, but that's just a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more vulnerable for me. And there's a difference between, in one of my graduate school classes, the professor was like, there's a difference between public and private. And I was like, I will tell you anything. I am completely public, right? But then they're like, wait, I do have like this one thing that's private. Right. Like there's a bit where I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to not share this bit about me just because it's still really vulnerable for me and it's really weepy for me. And if I share it, I'm going to weep on you. And I'm not in a space where I can be gregarious in my openness about this yet. I will be. It's just not today. And so I feel like there is that bit of you where you're like, I still have these little fleshy bits that get tender and I need to protect them. There aren't many of them. There are a few of them. And I think that comes from the betrayal. And then the future, where you're going, well, I think I told you that. Right? I see you being hungry for adventure in a way that most people aren't. Now, whether that means you get yourself onto a mercy ship or whether that means you get yourself onto like, now I know you have your business and you want to be doing your business, right? But there are ways that you could be in a particular location working with an organization and still doing your work, right? There are ways you can make this happen. And so I'm wondering if you're going to start pursuing like, how do I do a Doctors Without Borders? Or how do I do a war relief thing, right? Even if it's like, yeah, I see you boots on the ground though. I don't see you doing it from the US or from, where are you from? You're not from the US. You're from Canada.
I'm from the US.
You are from the US?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if I see you doing it from the US. I think I see you doing it from wherever it is that you are, kind of like how you're in Israel. I mean, you meant to go to Israel for 6 weeks to have a 6 week Israel experience, and then a war broke out, right?
Yeah, I guess you get the real Israel experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, Israel's always being at war, right? Like poor Israel.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, oh gosh, well, you're giving me ideas.
Well, sorry, mom. Sorry, dad. I
Right.
mean, that's why we do intuitive readings, though. We do intuitive readings because it helps us open our mind to where the energy is. To like, and the truth is, I'm not giving you any ideas. The truth is, the energy was already there. You were just trying to parcel it out and be like, what does this mean and what do I want? And why am I not going home? Like, why am I not going home? Everybody's begging me to go home. Why am I not going home? And there's a part of you that's like, I'm stupid. There's a right brain part of you that's like, I'm sorry, left brain part of you that's like, I'm stupid for staying here. Right? I'm stupid. Brain knows that this is not safe. And there's a right brain part of you that's like, no, you are exactly where you need to be. Just sit your ass down. And that's the grounded part of you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for letting me speak in. I appreciate it. I'm gonna end this.
Okay.